Leadership interviews. Tanner Owens. The first person that I chose to interview was a good friend of mine, Trevor Simon. He's a senior. He goes to Loveland High School. He's 18 years old, and he's committed to play baseball at Ball State University. His definition of leadership was someone that leads a group of people, a team, or an organization. And an effective leader is a role model and is determined. When I asked him the difference between management and leadership, he said, I see a manager in a negative way and a leader as someone who is more inspiring and positive. And his example of an effective leader was Tim Tebow. And he said that he was an effective leader because he had vision and he followed what he believed. He said what makes Tim Tebow special is the fact that he does not say much or push his beliefs onto people. He more leads by example. The next person I interviewed was someone who plays flag football with me. His name's Scotty Weaver. He's 20 years old. He's a student at UC. He's in pharmacy school. His definition of leadership is a unique ability to lead with vision and example. A leader has skills that come from within, he said. The difference between management and leadership for him was that management comes from more of a business perspective. It's more organized. And leadership is more broad, and it can apply to more than just management or the business field, stuff like that. Leadership is a bigger part of our everyday lives, I guess, is what he was saying in management. And his example of a leader was Martin Luther King Jr. Because of the adversity that he was facing at the time when he was trying to make such a big social change between different races. This is a lady that I met at Applebee's, Christy Boskin. She's 49 years old. She wouldn't let me take her picture, so I got it off of her Facebook. Leadership is an action of leading any one person or group. That's her definition of leadership. One of her strong beliefs of leadership was that leaders and innovators find new ways. Leaders are innovators, and they find new ways to motivate. Management and leadership are parallel, and leaders are more effective managers because of the ability to motivate those who follow them. She says Ronald Reagan was one of the best leaders she knows or knew of, and she based this off of his presidency, and I guess this was the best that she can remember America's situation being while he was in charge. Next person is another college student. He's 22 years old. He goes to Northern Kentucky University. He is studying criminal justice. Tyler Carter. His definition of leadership was the ability to teach others through example. He said it's more than just dictating and telling others what to do, but willing to be there with them. The difference between management and leadership, in his opinion, is strategy and the way that the leader or manager oversees employees. And I didn't really get him too enlightened on that anymore, but he did give in his example of an effective leader, which was his store manager at the Sears and the Eastgate Mall. And he said that he gives employees a sense of independence, but still ensures that all goals are met. And he had said, how his other managers at the store are kind of pushy, and it's nice to have, the wiggle room with the store manager. And he says that he thinks that's what makes him the store manager and an effective leader. This is my Aunt Carolyn. She wouldn't let me take her picture either, so this is off of her Facebook. She's 50 years old. And her definition of leadership was someone who makes sound and quick decisions. That was her belief. But she also said someone that leads by example. Um, Management is a direction, she says. The difference is that it's a direction, and leadership is more of an attitude. Um, which at first I was kind of skeptical on the variation between what she had said there, but I actually kind of like that. It's simple, but if you elaborate and think on it, I like management seen as a direction, and leadership as an attitude, because it is something that, as I've seen through my interviews, a lot of people think that leadership is more of something that you're born with. And I'm not sure if I'll say this name right. This was her example of an effective leader. It was Norman Schwarzkopf. Um, and I guess he was the commander in chief in the Persian Gulf War. And she just said because he led under pressure, she was, kind of joked about, if you can make decisions on people's lives and for the future of the country, then that's a lot of pressure. And to make sound and quick decisions in a high pressure situation such as a war, then that makes you an effective leader if you do that effectively. Um, so that was hers. Some final thoughts. I thought that all the definitions were fairly close. They all talked about leading by example, it seemed like, and a lot of them talked about motivating workers, and or not workers, just whoever's following them, I guess. Um, so, like I said, the most common definition of leadership was someone who teaches or leads by example. I feel like I saw that one the most out of my interviews. All the definitions were pretty similar. There were a couple of traits of leadership in the definitions, like the one that Carolyn had said, and I agreed. Like I think that's an important part of leadership, that you must be able to make a sound and quick decisions. Um, Neither one nor the other. I mean, sound and quick decisions are an important part of leadership because there will be decision making involved in any management or leading position, and it's ultimately, a lot of it's up to you. And I liked that she added that into her definition. And as you can see, that's why I said I most agreed with her definition. I agreed with them all, but I just like I said, I like the way that she added, leaders must be able to make sound and quick decisions. Um, and at this point, I guess my definition of leadership is one who can lead any group or person with example and by using motivation in order to achieve a common goal. And I think that a common goal is key, and I believe that's a way that effective leaders really can rally, a person or a group of people to, achieve a goal, because they get everybody in that group believing in something or wanting to achieve a common goal. And I think that's where motivation plays a big part. And also leading by example, just to give them a direction to go. And that's why I think that, leading by an example and motivation in order to achieve a common goal constitutes an effective leader.